DSTV channel 279. I am Grace Hamuajiman.
And I am Martin Asiedu-Date. These are the headlines for the next 1 hour.
News 360 Headlines is brought to you by
Flamingo Paint,
Pepsodent Charcoal and Pepsodent Herbal,
EcoBank.
Coming up tonight, with thousands of pupils sitting on the floor in schools to access education, government plans to procure 2 million desks to ease furniture shortage.
Also in the bulletin, acute water shortage in parts of Tema West Krowo leaves residents struggling and relying on sachet water and tankers for supplies.
Also coming up, Vice President Professor Opoku-Agyeman cautions government institutions against frustrating investors in the Gomoa Central Special Ecologic Zone.
Later on international news, UN says women are bearing brunt of the humanitarian crisis in Sudan, with the majority of female-headed households not having enough food to eat.
We have details of all these stories for you on the Friday holiday edition of News 360.
Let's begin the bulletin from here. And the water shortage in Tema West Krowo and surrounding communities has left countless families in deep distress. Bathing, washing, cooking, the very basics of life have become a daily struggle. With little hope of when relief will come, residents are forced to rely on sachet water, roam from community to community, or pay exorbitant prices for tanker supplies. Beatrice Ajokosowa has the rest of the story.
If you wake up in the morning without water, you cannot bath, you can't wash, you can't cook, you can't do anything.
For more than 4 months, residents have been deprived of their most essential need, water. Mothers, fathers, and children alike are enduring hardship, with survival becoming a test of resilience. Families that once depended on Ghana water for their daily lives now find themselves stranded, rationing every drop. Children arrive late to school, workers late to their jobs, all because of hours spent searching for water. Isaac O'Day is pastor of Word of Faith Mission. He paints a troubling picture of survival without running water. A small pail of water is rationed and stretched over several days, used sparingly for cooking, minimal washing, and drinking.
We try to manage ourselves. We have these small buckets that we use to measure them so that you can be able to enjoy at least the few ones that you have. Sometimes also when it's become so tough, you have to buy some of the sachet water to also support it. The water company, when they comes around to check the meter and you ask what is the situation, what they will say is that water will come.
For Grace, the past 4 to 5 months have been nothing short of unbearable. Each day is a struggle as she waits, hoping for the day the tap will flow again. The situation, she says, has brought her life to a standstill, with washing now a luxury. Grace tells me routine household chores have been abandoned altogether.
The time you're supposed to bath and go, you are now looking for water, searching for water from corner to corner. You go to a place, it stops flowing, they ask you to go to another place. Imagine from 31st night, it is today that I'm washing why that I went to 31st night, because there was no water. So I managed to went out with a taxi to fetch some before today I'll be able to wash.
Tina's story also mirrors the same hardship shared by families in the community. She described how the shortage has disrupted every aspect of her life, from personal hygiene to caring for her home.
It's been very hectic, very, very hectic. There's no water. At times it's come once in a day, once in a week, even that once in a week, crampono. Some areas it doesn't come at all, especially like my house. About 2 months now, we haven't gotten not even a drop of water.
Officials of the Ghana Water Company Limited say the shutdown of the Teshie Nungua desalination plant is to blame. They say once the legal dispute with the plant's owners is resolved, water will flow again to coastal communities.
We've had to share the little water from Bong with the people within that area. And if you look at the population in that area, there's no way we can serve people more than 3 days in a week. And also because of the new rationing regime, our network is such that we still need to do some interconnections so that we're sure that water will get elsewhere. Hopefully, we should end this legal issues between us and the owners of the plant.
For now, residents of Nungua and surrounding communities continue to bear the brunt of the water crisis. Their social-economic lives will continue to be disrupted until duty bearers resolve the challenge with the water supply.
Schools where pupils sit and lie on bare floors to carry out academic activities may soon heave a sigh of relief. President Mahama, during the just-ended 7th Quadrennial and 54th Delegates Conference of the Ghana National Association of Teachers, announced plans to procure 2 million desks to address the widespread furniture shortage in basic schools across the country. Here's a report by Stanley Niblew.
Across many rural schools in deprived districts, the simple act of sitting down to learn has become a daily struggle. In classrooms meant to nurture young minds, there are no desks, no chairs, only bare, dusty floors. Pupils sit, squat or lie on the ground to read and write, undermining both their comfort and their concentration. In some schools, pupils improvise using stones, pieces of wood or logs as makeshift seats. In others, limited furniture has led to a first-come, first-served system where only a handful of pupils are lucky enough to secure a desk, while the rest are left on the floor.
Some sit on mats. Then those who are even fortunate to sit on the drill desks, they sit 4-4. Because of that, it causes truancy.
The situation is impacting on learning. These conditions, educators warn, erode the dignity of pupils and affect overall academic performance. A 2023 study by Education Watch revealed an estimated 2.3 million pupils across Ghana have no access to classroom furniture. The report further indicates that government will need to spend about $330 million to fully address the deficits. Education advocates say the figures highlight a crisis that can no longer be ignored if the country is serious about improving learning outcomes. Despite these challenges, there is renewed hope for schools most affected by the furniture crisis. President Mahama has announced a major intervention aimed at restoring dignity to classrooms. Speaking at the 7th Quadrennial and 54th Delegate Conference by the Ghana National Association of Teachers, NAT, the president revealed plans for the procurement of 2 million metallic desks to support teaching and learning across the country.
We're procuring 2 million steel dual desks. We want to permanently end the pitiful sight of children sitting on stones or lying on their stomachs to read or write, especially in rural schools. And we estimate that about 2 million steel dual desks will make sure that every Ghanaian child in every school will have a desk to be able to sit on in dignity and write or read.
Beyond furniture, the president also addressed concerns about teacher deployment to rural communities. He reaffirmed government's commitment to implementing a 20% rural teacher allowance alongside the provision of accommodation facilities.
Under the Teacher Dabre, we are building 400 4-unit teacher bungalows nationwide. This is a start. And these are going to be built especially in the rural areas, so that teachers who are posted in the rural areas at least can find a place to lay their heads.
While stakeholders welcome these assurances, many say swift implementation will be key. For pupils still learning on bare floors, relief cannot come soon enough. Until promises translate into desks in classrooms, the struggle for dignified learning environment in rural schools continues. Stanley Niblew, TV3 News, Accra.
Well, if you spend a lot of time on social media, I'm sure this story will resonate with you. And it is a worrying trend spreading across social media and into our schools. Primary school teachers recording and publishing videos of young pupils online. What some see as harmless classroom highlights has raised serious concerns about children's rights, consent, and privacy. Judith Brown has been exploring the trend and has filed this report.
In communities across Ghana, clips of classroom dance performances, spelling bees, and group activities are raking up thousands of views online. But behind the likes and shares lies a troubling question. At what cost to the children themselves? What started as a way to showcase educational moments has now become a growing trend, with teachers posting videos of pupils on TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, and other social media platforms. In some cases, the videos are shared to promote a school, celebrate an event, or even build a teacher's personal brand. And while viewers may find these clips entertaining or inspiring, child rights advocates are sounding the alarm.
You know, some of these videos can actually end up as deepfakes. Yes, deepfakes where these children will be placed into different sex environments that do not actually favor them. And just to bust your bubbles, you have pedophiles today who are glossing over deepfakes because they know they are getting arrested for the actual videos. Someone will say it would happen anyway, but that's not how we protect society with laws. You take the proactive steps. You reduce the impact at the barest minimum. And at the rate at which we are going without parental consent and people just acting up and putting these videos, making permanent digital imprints of these children, we should be alarmed.
And the Ghana Children's Act 1998, Act 560, a child's right to privacy must be respected in all matters concerning them. The law states that children are entitled to personal dignity and privacy, safeguarding them from public exposure that could harm their well-being. Section 39 of the Act prohibits publication of information that may lead to the identification of a child in sensitive contexts without proper authority, highlighting the importance of respecting a child's privacy.
It's the welfare principle. And what's the welfare principle? The best interest of the child. So if you're going to ridicule a child because maybe he mispronounced something in class or something off, and so that video comes out, the first question we have to ask ourselves, which is both logical and legal, is this in the interest of the child, both from the immediate and the future? Don't we have chances that some of these things can actually harm the children as they grow? I've been seeing some of them even becoming memes. I'm telling you, it becomes embarrassing to the roles that they are taking, positions that they are seeking to occupy in their future. That's a problem, and that violates the welfare principle.
Teachers are not just private citizens. They are bound by the Ghana Education Service Code of Conduct. This framework holds educators responsible for upholding and protecting the rights of pupils in their care. Now, while the publicly available sections of the Code of Conduct do not list every specific behavior, they underscore a teacher's duty to protect students from harm and uphold their dignity and rights.
The time you engage children can be looked at in two ways. You cannot do your private things during school hours. Number two, you cannot use the child to do any other thing other than your prescribed curriculum design, because in the Act 1049, Pre-Tertiary Education Act 2020, it is very clear that the minister shall provide the course.
For some parents, publicly disseminating videos of children without their consent undermines this duty.
To me, because time I go school, discipline pa.
It's not good because during our time in school, there was a lot of discipline.
It's not necessary to video somebody in classroom to come out.
For others, it's a normal occurrence, especially in a now digital world.
We are in the age of social media, okay? And everything, including governance, goes better on social media, okay? However, it also comes with its own negativity, and this has its own effects on our society. The truth we should be asking ourselves is, are we ready for it?
While a single viral video might seem innocent today, its digital footprint lasts forever. Children at the center of these videos may one day confront a public record of their childhood they never agreed to share. For now, duty bearers must ensure that childhood never becomes just another online spectacle. Judith Brown, TV3 News.
Well, traders at Makola Market in Accra have admitted to defying the red line policy instituted during the Accra Metropolitan Assembly's decongestion exercise in May last year. They are pleading with the Metropolitan Chief Executive, Michael Kpakpo Alote, to extend the 1-month directive for them to move behind the red line so they manage to sell their wares, which are in excess due to the festive season. George Queening has more on this report.
This is the red line, and so traders are supposed to sell behind the red line. And so there was some sort of, punitive measures, fines, attached to recalcitrant, traders. And months after this very decongestion exercise, the Accra Mayor, Michael Kpakpo Alote, is quite worried about the kind of events. Let's hear from him and bring you the current state of this very decongestion exercise.
I'm giving the traders in Accra up to the end of January. Please, they should move back to the normal red line so that we all live in peace. By the end of January, I am going to clear the streets. This time I'm not putting human face in it because I have been talking to people, I've been walking to them for some time now.
It is a total defiance of the red line policy per the current situation at the market. Traders competing with vehicles for space on the streets despite last year's exercise to improve traffic flow. The Accra Metropolitan Assembly AMA has again given traders a 1-month ultimatum to move behind the red line. But are traders ready to move by the end of January this year?
Yeah, Christmas is very awesome.
Okay.
Or bad year Christmas is okay.
During the festive season, our wares are in excess. We can only plead to have our goods sold.
This month, until the Busumi we were.
We are ready to move back. We are ahead of the red line due to the festive season. My colleagues selling on the road must be sacked. The streets must be free for easier movement. It is because of the festive season that we are here. Once that is over, we are ready to move back. They have nowhere to go but the street. Once they come back, the cars can move freely. I will be chastised when I complain.
Hopefully, traders comply with this very new directive from the Accra Mayor and do the needful. George Queening, TV3 News, Makola Market, Accra.
Well, let's move away from the markets because the Director General of the National Road Safety Authority, Abraham Amaliba, says that detention of former Finance Minister Ken Ofori-Atta by U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement ICE has nothing to do with immigration infractions. Speaking on TV3 New Day, Mr. Amaliba noted that the arrest is rather linked to a direct request initiated by the Attorney General. Lawyers for the former Finance Minister have argued their client's detention is purely an immigration matter. There's more in this report.
According to lawyers for former Finance Minister Ken Ofori-Atta in Ghana, his detention by the United States Immigration and Customs Enforcement (ICE) is related to concerns about his immigration status. However, private legal practitioner and Director General of the National Road Safety Authority, Abraham Amaliba, has revealed that the detention of Ken Ofori-Atta was triggered by a request from the Attorney General, Dr. Dominic Ayene.
I can confirm to you that this is part of the processes leading up to his extradition. And this is the handiwork of our Attorney General. And I can tell you that it is the Attorney General who, in his attempts to get Ofori-Atta back here, that made the U.S. authorities to revoke his stay status.
Abraham Amaliba further dismissed claims by Ken Ofori-Atta's lawyers that the detention was immigration related.
Anybody who writes a letter saying that it is part of the overstay extension is a hoax. The man's visa or stay status has been revoked following the Attorney General's handiwork. Sometimes these people think that all of us are dumb and we cannot read in between the lines. The American lawyer will not issue a statement like this because he knows what it means to be faithful to the proceedings. And he knows that if he says anything which is contrary to what is happening, he can lose his license. Those lawyers who are here are not privy to what is happening there. So how come that they are issuing statements? The person who is privy and knows the intricacies of what is happening in there are his lawyers in the U.S. So I want us to treat this letter with the contempt it deserves.
The Attorney General and Minister for Justice, Dr. Dominic Ayene, during the Government Accountability Series last December, revealed that his office was working closely with the United States government to ensure that Ken Ofori-Atta is brought back to Ghana to face justice.
On December 10, 2025, my office transmitted the complete request to the Ministry of Foreign Affairs for onward transmission to the competent authorities in the United States of America. That is, in this case, the Department of Justice of the United States. At this point, it is left to the American authorities, especially the judicial authorities, to make a determination on whether a sufficient basis exists for the two accused persons to be extradited to Ghana to stand trial. Basically, what I want Ghanaians to know is that this government is committed to accountability. And the government has taken the requisite steps that are legally required for the Honorable Ken Ofori-Atta and Ernest Darko Akore to be extradited to Ghana, to be brought to Ghana to face justice. As I indicated earlier, it is now left to the judicial authorities in the United States to assess the entire package that we have presented to find out whether there is sufficient basis for him.
A founding member of the opposition NPP, Dr. Nyaho Nyahota Maklo, claims that former Finance Minister Ken Ofori-Atta is refusing to return to Ghana because his presence could expose further rot in the erstwhile administration.
Why should the Minister of Finance refuse to come to this country? I can assure you, if he's brought in today, and is questioned in court, I will not be surprised if the entire government then is not involved in this sort of robbery. The man is running away. No, there have been repeated calls on him to come home.
Now, Vice President Professor Nana Jane Opoku-Agyeman has cautioned government institutions against frustrating investors in the Gomoa Central Special Economic Zone. Professor Opoku-Agyeman maintained that the project aligns with government's 24-hour economy and accelerated export development policies.
During a site visit to the Gomoa Central Special Economic Zone, a proposed project by the MP for the area, Kwame Asare-Obeng, The Vice President expressed the government's commitment to the project's realization, citing its potential to generate numerous employment opportunities.
It aligns directly with our national priorities: industrialization, the 24-hour economy policy, export drivers, and all kinds of diversifications, and of course, value addition too. Government is fully committed to mobilizing all relevant state institutions to support this initiative.
Member of Parliament for Gomoa Central, Kwame Asare-Obeng, also known as A+, noted that the project will be completed within the next 10 years and appealed for institutional support.
Your Excellency, by 2036, this zone will not be a dream. It will be a living reality. We shall not give up. We will work 24 hours a day, and the only thing that can stop us from working is work. We will fall, we will rise, and we will be here when the doubters are gone, and we'll be here when they come back to witness for themselves the amazing handiwork of the Africa Continental Free Trade Area after and His Excellency John Dramani Mahama. Let me state clearly on record, we are not here asking government for money. We are not asking for budgetary allocations, nor state financing. What we are asking for is something far more important: institutional support and a reset of mindset.
Vice President Professor Nana Jinopokwajiman underscored the need for government institutions to desist from delaying investors who would want to pitch into the project.
No serious investor should face delays of uncoordinated government action. Let us put all of this behind us and move forward as a country. This initiative is practical and grounded. Factories, warehouses, logistics centers, agro-processing units, technology parks, and export-oriented industries will develop here, and jobs will follow.
Secretary General of the African Continental Free Trade Area, Afta Wamkele Mene, commended the project and urged Africa's financial institutions to come aboard.
The Honorable was expressing to us the vision of transforming a particular constituency into being globally competitive, I believe, is entirely within reach. Development finance institutions such as AFDB, the African Development Bank, Afrexim Bank, Africa 50, will have to contribute to ensure that they invest in Africa's industrial development.
Chiefs of the area also welcomed the initiative and asked for the Gomoa Central Special Economic Zone to be expedited to help the growth of communities. As traditional leaders of the area, we support the initiative. Our only proposal is that the MP should do everything in his power to start the projects in earnest to bring development to the area. Located in Bewaze in the Gomoa Central District of the Central Region, the zone is expected to feature industrial parks, residential apartments, and eco-parks among other amenities. That 21-acre land will also feature an eco-recreational park, organic farming zones, and a 24-hour business district. Lord Idasari, TV3 News, Accra.
You're still watching News 360 on TV3. Stay with us. We have many more stories for you after this break.
investigation into the controversial $214 million Gold for Reserves program loss to ensure accountability. The opposition New Patriotic Party warns that without a thorough inquiry, millions of taxpayer dollars could remain unaccounted for.
Nothing exposes the government's failure better than the Gold Board for Reserve disaster. In just 9 months, we lose $240 million. That is 2.6 billion cedis, money that could have built hospitals, equipped schools, and established storage facilities for farmers. Instead, it was lost in a politically connected gold scheme. The Gold for Reserves program was the brainchild of the NPP government. When President Mahama returned to power, he inherited a functioning program. He politicized it. He expanded it recklessly. He placed it in unprepared and potentially conflict hands, and the result speaks for itself. Gold Board is not alone. The governor of Bank of Ghana must also answer serious questions. What oversight did the bank provide? When did they become aware of losses? Why defend and deny rather than investigate? This parliament has a constitutional duty to investigate what this government seeks to hide. We call on parliament to immediately establish bipartisan select committees to investigate. First, the $240 million loss in the Gold for Reserve program, subpoena all off-takers' contracts, compel Gold Board and Bank of Ghana officials to testify under oath, review all trading data, identify who approved excessive fees and why.
Now, as Ghanaians begin to enjoy a long weekend in observance of Constitution Day, many citizens are reflecting on the significance of today. This year's Constitution Day comes at a time of renewed calls for constitutional reforms alongside the presentation of a report by the Constitution Review Committee to President John Mahama. Nura Mohammed examines the relevance of this day in this explainer.
January 7 marks the Constitutional Day in Ghana, a moment set aside to remember the adoption of the 1992 Constitution that laid the foundation for the country's fourth republic and democratic governance. But beyond the public holiday, which is observed on January 9 this year, its observance comes at a time when Ghana is once again reflecting on whether its supreme law remains fit for purpose. The 1992 Constitution was approved by referendum and ushered into multi-party democracy after years of military rule, and it established the separation of powers, guaranteed fundamental human rights, and entrenched civilian control of government. For more than 3 decades, it has provided the framework for peaceful elections, transitions of power, and the protection of individual freedoms. However, as the country evolves, so too have calls for reform. Several provisions of the Constitution are now under scrutiny as part of an ongoing constitutional review process. And key issues being debated include the extent of presidential powers, the appointment of metropolitan, municipal, and district chief executives, the earnings of Article 71 office holders, and clauses affecting independent candidates, as well as dual citizenship. Proponents of reform argue that these changes are needed to strengthen accountability, deepen decentralization, and reflect the realities of our modern Ghana. Others, however, caution that while reform is necessary, it must be approached carefully to protect the spirit of the Constitution and the stability it has brought to the nation. As Ghana marks Constitutional Day, the significance goes beyond remembrance. It is an opportunity for citizens to engage in national conversations about governance, accountability, and the future of the country's democracy. The day underscores a simple but powerful message that while constitutions can be reviewed and amended, the commitments to the rule of law and democratic principles must remain constant. Noura Mohammed for TV3 News, Accra.
Well, let's go up north now because police in Tamale have arrested several suspected drug peddlers in a major security operation aimed at clamping down on narcotics and other criminal activities within the metropolis. The arrest followed a 2-day special operation by the IGP Special Operations Team, which retrieved large quantities of suspected Indian hemp, opioids, and illicit pharmaceutical drugs.
I know we are professional and we have always done it better. Let us go out there, exercise high level of professionalism, dedication, and then come back successful.
The operation formed part of sustained efforts by the Ghana Police Service to combat drug abuse, drug peddling, and other crime-related activities while maintaining peace, law and order in the Tamale metropolis. The operation began with intensive visibility patrols across identified crime-prone areas and known hotspots within the metropolis. These patrols are aimed at enhancing police presence, gathering intelligence, reassuring residents, and deterring criminal activity in both commercial and residential communities. In addition to routine patrols, the team carried out intelligence-led operations including rapid responses to distress calls and actionable intelligence. During the exercise, several suspects were arrested. Among them are Mohammed Tofik, Osman Kamaldeen, and Abdullah Tofik, who were found with quantities of dried leaves suspected to be Indian hemp and other synthetic opioids. Another suspect, Mohammed Osman, was arrested with 17 boxes and 14 sachets of Tramadol 120 milligrams, as well as additional quantities of Rayo Fort 225 milligrams. 6 other suspects, Amadou Abdullahi, Dokrugu Al-Hassan, Mohammed Osman, Abdul Rahman Yusuf, Mahama Abdullah, and Abubakar Mohammed Awal were also arrested with suspected Indian hemp.
Moto ni die mi die
na spineless ne wo ne
spineless
ne she moto no ne den
sa kwa no die wa dwane sa kwa no me ba toilet
nti wo ade na obi wi na wo dia show moto
masa I me nwanwa kurampo.
In a separate operation at Damali, police arrested Abdul Wahab at his residence. A search of his room led to the retrieval of 2 parcels of compressed dried leaves suspected to be Indian hemp, toffees made from the same substance, 45 bottles of Benalin cough syrup, and quantities of synthetic opioids.
Yes, sir. What do you know about this?
All suspects are currently in detention at the Sakasaka police station, while the exhibits have been handed over to the investigators for further screening and forensic analysis. Authorities say intelligence-led patrols and follow-up operations are ongoing to dismantle other criminal networks. Police say the operation underscores their resolve to use proactive, intelligence-driven policing and strong community collaboration to keep the metropolis safe.
You're still watching Ghana's prime time news, TV3 News. We are back shortly with latest in the world of sports.
Lifestyle and Napa Foods. Heaven Black Insecticide Spray and Coil. Powered by 3 Entertainment.
Good evening and welcome to the entertainment news segment here on News 360. My name is Noella Donko. Now, Ghanaian highlife musician Ifriye, formerly of the music duo Wuta, has appealed to organizers of award schemes to introduce a dedicated category for songs created using artificial intelligence as discussions around AI's role in music intensifies. Now, Ifriye made the call in a Facebook post on Thursday, January 8, 2026, suggesting that the growing presence of AI in music production can no longer be ignored. Going forward, I think music award organizers should create a category for AI-generated songs. The system is full of synth, he wrote. Now, while some critics argue that AI threatens original creative expression, others see it as an inevitable part of modern music, making that should be embraced. Ifriye's proposal adds a new dimension to the ongoing debate and raises concerns and questions about how Ghana's Music Award schemes will adapt to technological advancements, including whether clear standards will be developed to distinguish human creativity from machine-assisted work in the future.
The cost of living is getting higher. Politicians are gambling with the future. People suffering everywhere, wasting money on military wear.
And now to some more stories. The Deputy Chief Executive Officer of the Ghana Tourism Authority, Abeku Santana, has praised dancehall musician Shatta Wale for what he describes as a transformative impact on Ghana's music entertainment industry. Now, in a video shared on X on January 8, 2026, Abeku Santana said Shatta Wale played a key role in reshaping the narrative within the creative arts space, particularly in how artists are valued and compensated. According to him, Shatta Wale consistently championed the rights of creatives at a time where they were underpaid and underappreciated. I want to commend Shatta Wale because he changed the status quo. He defended the idea that our creatives must be valued and respected. He fought relentlessly for what many are enjoying today, Abeku Santana said. Now, he recalled that in the past, artists were paid meager amounts and often treated with little regard. However, he noted that the situation has significantly improved. Today, artists I recruit or hire for events make very specific demands. Some ask for 3 SUVs and insist on a Land Cruiser V8, he added. Abeku Santana further observed that Shatta Wale's influence has empowered musicians who once had to beg event promoters for performances to now organize and headline their own concerts.
Brick by brick, we built from pain. Under the street slice, we carve our name.
Well, that's it for the entertainment news segment here on News 360. My name is Noella Donko. There's more after the break.
Welcome back. Let's do international news now.
The UN says women are bearing the brunt of the humanitarian crisis in Sudan, with the majority of female-headed households not having enough food to eat. Spokesperson for the United Nations Office for the Coordination of Humanitarian Affairs, Jean Layek, pointed to pre-existing gender inequalities in the country being exacerbated by the ongoing conflict, which entered its 1000th day on Friday. UN has previously warned that women face the risk of sexual violence while searching for food. More anti-government protests erupt in Iran for a 13th day in a row as the country's supreme leader lashes out at people demonstrating on the streets. Supreme Leader Ali Khamenei, who has ultimate power in Iran, has dismissed protesters as a bunch of vandals trying to please US President Donald Trump, who threatened to hit Iran very hard if government forces kill protesters. The exiled former crown prince of Iran, Reza Pahlavi, asks President Trump to be prepared to intervene in support of the Iranian people.
This segment is brought to you by Sasso Insecticide Spray and Coil.
Right, let's bring you some sports news now. Senegal, starting from the AFCON clearly. So Senegal have become the first team to book their place in the semi-finals of the 2025 Africa Cup of Nations after they defeated Mali by a 1-0 at the Tangier Grand Stadium. Very, very heated game because clearly someone had to win to go through, and the favors or the odds fell in favor of Senegal, led by their masked man, Sadio Mane.
For Iraq. Good shot. Lovely noise around Grand Stade de Tangier, and that's it. It's all over. Senegal are into the semi.
And the second leg to find out who will join Senegal on the next leg is currently ongoing. So we'll give you updates of that on our socials as well. Now, Ghana international Antoine Semenyo says he is proud to have joined Manchester City from Bournemouth. The 26-year-old forward was wanted by many clubs but opted to join Pep Guardiola's side in a deal worth £65 million. The Black Stars forward has signed a 5.5-year deal that runs to 2031.
It's only sinking in now, to be honest. Had to work very hard to get to this point, and yeah, I'm over the moon. It's done, and I'm looking forward to the challenge. Powerful, quick, strong, clinical player. Still improving. I feel like I'm still yet to reach my peak. I feel like I've got a lot of learning to do, and joining City here is going to be the best thing for my development. Best coaches, best players, and yeah, I'll take my game to the next level. Well, I've had to be a strong character. I feel like emotionally, mentally, I've had to get really strong. I feel like I've had family, friends, fiancé around me, keeping me uplifted and always pushing me. So yeah, I've had to push myself quite a bit, get through a lot of troubled times, hard times, and yeah, it's just made me the man I am today, strong, fearless, and ready to attack the world. I mean, you want to be part of the team, to be honest. You want to be winning those trophies, you want to be playing with the best players in the world. So yeah, that perception is you just want to be involved, and thank God I'm involved, and we can win many more trophies.
Well, Martin, you know, Man City has always been my team because of Kun Aguero.
Oh, yes.
But now Semenyo has reaffirmed
your love for the club.
Man City, and Man City forever.
Yeah, I mean, congratulations to Semenyo. Clearly a big move, and almost everybody on the continent is excited for him, especially Ghanaians, and we wish him all the best. We'll be watching out for him. That's it for our package this evening. Thank you so much for watching. I am Martin Asiedu-Date.
And I am Grace Hamwa Ajeman. Showbiz 360 is up next, the holiday edition. You don't want to miss out. See you later.